everyone, this is Before the Bell. This is the first Before the Bell with me, DylsWrestling. This is specifically a podcast based on Victory Pro Wrestling on the 7th of September in Baggeridge. And our first guest today, we have the hotshot Joey Scott. How are you feeling today, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, Dylan. How are you?
I am lovely, thank you. I will say you were the first ever announcement for Victory Pro when this was being planned. You were the first person to get the call to us to come in. How do you feel about, is that something that's quite special to you to be asked? Oh, yeah, who are they going to ask first? Oh, they've asked me.
Is it really a surprise? I mean, who else are they going to ask first? I mean, I'm the hotshot Joey Scott. They should have
Well,
stopped me, to be honest, shouldn't they?
there is a massive, massive roster. We have obviously got your opponent, Luke Douglas, who's a legend around Birmingham in the Midlands. It's TJ Rex, who you know very well. Alex Connors, who you know very well. But you were the first of everyone, and there is a massive stacked roster filled with different characters, imports from other countries, lots of random people, but you were the first of everyone.
Well, as I said, Dylan, I'm the hotshot Joey Scott, so I'm the best name on that show. Period. I'm the best wrestler on that show, so if you're going to actually ask me a question worth answering, I'm willing to go along with it. But up until now, you're just yapping.
Okay, well, first question. Your opponent on the show, which I would say is probably my favourite match on the card, is you taking on the 21st century hero, Luke Douglas. Both of you are, I would say, are absolute wrestling legends in England. You've had a 17-year career. I think he's probably around the 10 to 15-year career by now. Obviously, his sector has more been around Birmingham, the Black Country, etc. Whereas you've been all over the country and all over the world, but it does feel like almost like a massive clash of the titans almost. How do you feel about your opponent?
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting. I've never actually had a singles match with Luke Douglas. I believe we had a four-way once a couple of years ago, but yeah, never stepped in the ring one-on-one with him. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm just going to pick up the first win in Victory Pro. I was the first announcement. I'm going to be victorious throughout my time in Victory Pro. It's a shame Luke Douglas is unfortunately having me as his first opponent in the promotion, because it's not going to be, much for him to brag about when he loses to the hotshot Joey Scott.
Something you and Luke Douglas both have in common is you're both trainers at two of the most respected schools in the Midlands. Obviously, he's a head trainer at Kamikaze. You're the head trainer of Full Force. That's something that both of you share. Do you think maybe there's going to be people who are more biased to Luke because he's a trainer in their respective area compared to you?
I couldn't care less what other people think. I'm not there to be liked by anyone. I'm there to do my job, and that's to steal the show.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair enough. One of my questions here is obviously we've got a stacked roster. We've got the Standard, we've got the Reservoir Dogs, as I say, the Temple of Light. It's a massive roster, one that I've never really seen before, and a lot of these names have never even clashed at all. Is there anyone who you've seen on the roster that you would want to face next?
Um, it's a good question. Hmm. I'll put it this way. I'd like to face whoever the first champion's going to be, because whoever that is going to be, they're going to soon be losing it to me, because I want to be champion. So it's not so much about who I want to face necessarily in name. It's who I'm going to face to better myself going forward.
Well, we do have the massive gauntlet match, which has the likes of Tiger Shah, Will Stevens, Leah Raven, Joey Slade, Brad Osborne, so on. I can't remember at the top of my head. But out of all of them, whoever wins that gets some type of massive opportunity, which I do believe will eventually be a title. Out of all of those names, who could you see yourself in the ring with?
Hmm.
Oh, Jack Charles Hood. Sorry, that was the last one.
I
I
think
was
I'd
supposed to
mix it
remember.
up quite well with Tiger Shah.
He is at the top of his game at the moment, especially even though he's only been in he's in his very early stages of his career at the moment.
I mean, it's sometimes when you're in an early stage of your career and you seem to be doing well for yourself, sometimes you need to be knocked down a peg or two, and that's exactly what I can do. I can give him a humbling he probably needs, and stepping in the ring with me, it's going to be a different caliber. So, you know, if he wants to try and prove himself, step up, but I'm just going to knock him straight back down.
And as a trainer, you'd probably use the same sort of motivation for your own students, as we've seen someone like Kane Westwood be at the forefront of you beating the living hell out of him, even though he is one of your students.
Sometimes they need a reality check.
And if we are talking about your trainees and wrestlers in general, who would you want to see on the Victory Pro roster at some point?
In terms of seeing them on a show, I think all of them, because at the end of the day, it does the school well as well to actually see that the guys are getting out there and working for different shows. But in terms of them as people, I couldn't care less. I'm there to win for myself. So, what do they want? A round of applause, a pat on the back? Like, next question.
Fair enough, Jerry Scott. I would say on this roster, out of everyone who's on it, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of, mind my French, arseholes on this show. The likes of you, Will Stevens, the standard, Alex Connors. A lot of you are massive pieces of dirt when it comes to being the people that you are. You don't care about anyone else and you tend to beat the living hell out of people. Do you think if there was going to be a real challenge for you in Victory Pro, who would it be? Like, if you look at the roster and you go, okay, this is someone who I maybe want to step away from.
I'm wanting to step away from this interview right now from you because, quite frankly, you're talking out of your ass. Who do you think you are? Would you say that to my face?
I probably wouldn't, but as someone who I do have to talk to you, even if it's in quite an informal way, I'm also the backstage interviewer of Victory Pro as well as its commentator. I'm very much the voice of the people. So I'm asking questions that maybe the fans would want to know as well.
But you've automatically villainized me. You're making out that I'm a bad person. What? Why? Because I'm goddamn talented in the ring. Why? Because I know my worth. Why? Because I know how good I am.
You're
These
very well.
are facts. These are fact after fact after fact.
I would say, from my point of view, personally, from where I've seen you all over the UK, whatever company you've been in, you do tend to be quite sneaky, quite calculated, quite manipulative, and you will do anything to get the win no matter what.
Of
And
course.
as much as I can respect that,
Does anyone care? Just as long as I've got that W next to my name, does anyone care how I got it done? No.
I think I
I'm still
think that
getting paid the top money. I'm still getting the wins. I'm still getting the belts. I'm still getting the respect. That's why I was the first name in Victory Pro. Again, that's just another fact.
okay, absolutely fair enough, and maybe I am in fact talking out of my ass. Okay, well, my next question would be, you've obviously had a very long career leading up to this point where obviously you were the first draft to Victory Pro. Before Victory Pro, what would you say are like some of your most important moments in your career? If we're going to go down a lighter road in this interview, what are some of the proudest moments of your career?
So my top one would be debuting in America.
Yeah.
Since I was a little kid, I always wanted to wrestle in America. So that was probably the most important one. Another fun one I did. And again, I got a lot of disrespect from people that don't know anything about wrestling, such as like yourself. talking down and negative about me when I was on. This was just before COVID actually, and I got into a ring with a loudmouth politician. And it was on Sky News, and I got a lot of backfire and heat over that. Why? Because I attacked him. He shouldn't have been in my goddamn ring. He should have known his place. This isn't the House of Commons. This is my life. So if he wants to step into my world, that's exactly what I did. I knocked him on his ass. Um, I mean, some people, they're just too soft. I mean, like you can sit behind that camera asking me all questions and acting like Billy Big Bollocks, but, face to face, you wouldn't have the balls. And that that's the state of the world right now, I think. The world we're living in, people hide behind their little computers, and quite frankly, it's not good enough. Does my head in. Don't like to see it. Boring.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement, especially coming from someone of your caliber.
Thank you. It sounds like you're actually learning. Hopefully, as this interview goes on, I can maybe educate you and steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, that might be possible. And I do think as an interviewer and a commentator, we will definitely get to do a face-to-face interview at some point. And I think that'll be very cool.
Did you want a reaction from me for that?
Well, it's an interview. I need a bit of feedback. It's a bit of a back and forth here, Joey.
Cool.
Thanks. That awesome stuff. As we've just seen, only today, Alex Connors has put out a open challenge. Even though you're in a match, is that something you would maybe look into going against the Inquisitor?
Am I going to be getting paid extra?
You would have to talk to the higher ups about that.
I'm there to get paid to wrestle Luke Douglas. I'm going to make that as quick as possible. I'm not paid by the hour. I'm paid to have a match. So I'm going to be going through that match as quick as I can. Get the W, get out before, risk of injury. Don't know why I'd want to risk injury by wrestling anyone else unless I was going to get more money. So, no, pretty dumb question. Is it going to get me a title? No. Is it going to get me more money? Probably not. No.
Fair enough.
Think about what you're saying, Dylan.
I have to ask these questions. It's what the people will be interested in knowing about the Hotshot Joey
People are
Scott.
morons.
I wouldn't say they're morons. That's not very nice.
3/3.
All right, we'll move on. As of the other day, we had Coach Mahon put out a statement saying that he deserves a spot on Victory Pro. And he said a lot of the roster maybe aren't up to his caliber. He's taken a lot of shots at me on social media. What would you think about someone coming in, chatting a lot of waz, thinking they're the top dog?
I mean, I've got to respect him to a degree for talking down on you. But anything else, get the back of the queue, mate. Get maybe you get a coach yourself, and then you can step into a promotion that I'm leading.
Well, apparently he's running a sports academy to train people. What would you think of that? For him to train people?
I'd say maybe get a trainer yourself.
And you know what? I would completely agree with that because he looks like he's got a dad bod. He doesn't look like he could run a mile. My personal opinion on the guy. But that's only because he's said so many bad things about me.
All right, that's quite rich coming from you, isn't it?
I'm very aware, but at the same time, I don't think I should be disrespected the way he disrespected me. I think out of anyone, if someone deserves, a bit of back chat from me, it's definitely him. Considering
I'm sorry. Can I just stop you a minute, Dylan? I'm going to ask you a question now.
Okay.
Is this a Joey Scott interview or is this a Dylan interview? Because it's not about you. No one cares if you're disrespected. I don't care if you're disrespected. You're disrespecting me because you're taking my time up. This is about Joey Scott.
Okay, I'm sorry, Joey. I just thought if we were going to add some kind of substance to the interview, I would also give my point of view. Can you agree that that's sort of a right thing to do?
I can agree that I want to have the next question.
Okay, and this question, I think it's quite an important one, and it will be to you. Full Force Wrestling. Obviously, this is one of the best schools in the UK and throughout the Midlands. When we talk about Full Force Wrestling, what does that really mean to you?
It's 10 years of my life. Obviously, it's 10-year anniversary in October. So it's been a big part of my wrestling journey. Um, yeah, I think since opening the school, it's got bigger because obviously I care about people's growth within the industry and I want to help other people succeed. Um, but yeah, I think it has made the promotion bigger as well over time.
Because as a lot of people know, you have some of the best wrestlers in the UK, a part of the Full Force roster, sorry. Whether that's Leighton LeBlanc, Lenny Lynch, my best friend 40, Axel Wright, Kane Westwood. These are some of my favourite people to watch as well as work with. Are these people that, you want to see in the ring with you, not just at Full Force, but in a Victory Pro ring?
Yeah, I mean, people like Axel Riot, Little Runt, people like, Leighton LeBlanc, I'd love to beat their ass, like, in any ring. It doesn't matter what the promotion is. Quite frankly, I can't stand them. So any chance I get to, beat them up inside a ring, like, perfect. Uh, 40's my boy, in other promotions across the UK, like, he's got my back. So yeah, I think he deserves an opportunity to be out there and in front of any crowd, basically. But any one of the guys at the barracks, yeah, get them on the show. If I like them, they can join me. If I don't, get out my way and step up, step up if they don't like it, and I'll prove that they're not good enough to be in the ring with me. I may teach them everything they know, but I don't teach them everything I know.
I will say one of your trainees is one of the top dogs in the UK at the moment. It's one of my favourites to watch. One of my favourites of all time, even. Big Daddy Unicorn, Jason Joshua. He's at the top of his game at the moment. Do you see him entering Victory Pro at any point? And if you do, would you want him to align with you as part of either, a faction or a team or something like that? Or is as you've had so many amazing matches throughout the UK together, would you want to maybe see him as a rival?
It very much depends on Jason Joshua, to be fair. Like, I could definitely see him in Victory Pro, but whether or not that is knowing his place and being by my side, teaming with me like we do in other promotions, or whether he wants to try and go it alone and prove something and prove he can go out on his own. Do I have to give him a good beating again? Like, it's one of those things that's on Jason Joshua. I'm happy to have him next to me, but I'm the star around here. So if he's got a problem with that, if he wants to go out alone, that's fine. But I'm just gonna have to beat him down again.
If we're talking about star power, which obviously you have tons of, there would also be someone who thinks he has more star power than you, and that would be Joe Blazer. What are your opinions on someone like Joe Blazer being in Victory Pro alongside you on the roster? Because obviously this could be a massive clash of, personality, clash of ego, clash of athleticism. This could be a big thing. What's your opinions on Joe Blazer?
I've never had a problem with Joe Blazer. I've had good interactions with him, but same thing as I've said about anyone else. He gets in my way, and he's gonna find out who the real hotshot Jerry Scott is. I'm not here to play around. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be the best. So, Joe Blazer's fine. We'll get on just fine if he stays out my way.
And if we were going to look at some of the younger talent on the show, such as the Standard, again, I listed them as a-holes earlier. What's your opinion on them?
Ray Connor, I've travelled with quite a bit recently. Seems fine. He reminds me a bit of myself when I was young. He's quite confident. I
Cocky?
think put maybe not cocky. I'm not cocky, and I said he reminds me of myself. So
I know what I said.
there's a difference knowing your worth. I think he needs to maybe put in a bit more work, but there's nothing stopping him from maybe being half the man I am one day. It's just going to take a lot of work.
What about his partners, Romulus and Jack Charles Hood? They're both going to be appearing on the show as well.
Now, yeah, I've seen them with Ray Connor. Now, I've not personally interacted with them much myself, so I can't really comment on how I think they are thinking about themselves within wrestling. But yeah, I mean, they're in great shape. So, if they stick with Ray Connor, I think the standard could be pretty good in Victory Pro.
Yeah, as much as, I definitely have my own viewpoint on the Standard. I would completely agree with you that they've definitely got a future on them as long as
Well,
they
that's
keep
because you
working
let your
hard.
up quite low, though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I wouldn't say that, but I'm glad you can voice your opinion. That's very nice. How about someone like TJ Rex, someone you've known for years? What do you think of him being on Victory Pro? Do you think you guys are going to clash at some point?
Oh, well, I knew TJ Rex before he started identifying as some kind of wacko dinosaur. Obviously, he's mind a little bit now, bless him. I mean, TJ, me and him have shared the ring multiple times. He seems a little bit out there now, a bit like, I think maybe too many bangs to the head. But if again he needs to get in the ring with me, I'll just knock him down again. I'll beat him again and again. But yeah, going back to obviously you mentioned Full Force earlier. He was actually involved in the very first match in Full Force wrestling history. So obviously I do have a lot of respect for TJ, but that respect only gets you so far. Obviously, when you're portraying yourself and pandering to the awful fans.
Do you remember what match that was that TJ Rex was in for the first Full
But
Force
it was
show?
TJ Sky back then, and
Yes.
he wrestled Kieran Young.
Yes, the enemy.
Yes.
Someone who you've, had definitely a past with, especially in other companies, and you've taken his role as leader of, I don't think they had a name, but now it would be referred to as the Shot Squad.
Well, he just wasn't good enough to stick around, was he, and play with the big boys.
Is the Shot Squad something you would want to bring to other promotions?
I mean, why not? We take over the promotions we are in, so of course.
I don't know if Fordy would want to do that, as he's my best friend and he wouldn't want to go against me or his fans, but
I think
we'll
Ford
see.
would do what is best for him, what's going to get him most recognized in professional wrestling, what's going to get him belts, what's going to get him bookings, what's going to get him money. I don't think his friendship with you is really going to come into play.
Who knows? Well, we can only say so in the future of Victory Pro if that would be the case. But don't get me wrong, I do think I do think if the Shot Squad in the future was something part of Victory Pro, that would be quite a cool thing. I'm just again voicing my opinion. I think we are coming up to the end of our interview now, Hotshot Joey
Really?
Scott, and yes.
Oh, what a shame.
It has been very lovely to chat to you, and it has been an honour to have you as my first guest here on Before the Bell.
Now, tell me something I don't know.
Is there anything you would want to say to the fans? Obviously, we're about a month away now, a month and a little bit away from the first ever show. Is there anything you want to get
I
out there? A
think I
little
think
message?
the main thing I'd say to him really is like when I come out, when I make my entrance at Victory Pro, like have a bit of goddamn respect. I mean, I don't know how much the tickets are for Victory Pro, but you know they're probably doing a good deal for their first ever event. So they're getting to see me for a good price. At least have some goddamn respect and show me the respect I deserve. I'm the hotshot Joey Scott, God damn it! Like they're seeing a living legend.
I will say officially it has sold out all general tickets,
Well, that's
so
great.
it will be a packed
I don't
out
know why that is
room
then.
because the show is such an amazing jump. Yeah, I know what you're
Right
gonna.
here,
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
right here.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say, Joe Scott?
No, if we're done, I'd like to go because you've took up too much of my time already.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, Joey Scott. It's been a pleasure.
I wish I could say the same.
All right. Thank you, guys. This has been Before the Bell. We'll see you for the next episode.